Good morning. Happy Monday. Today is Monday, March 30th, 2020. I hope you had a great weekend. Make sure you share out with people around you or call someone on the phone, tell them about your weekend, share about it, ask about someone else's weekend. Our amazing question of the day is, what is the most amazing thing you hope to do in the future? So it could be the future like a year from now, or it could be the future 10 years from now. What is the most amazing thing you hope to do in the future? I know that all of you hold a futures full of lots of amazing things, but try to pick one thing that you want to do in the future. For me, the most amazing thing I hope to do in the future is I'd like to travel more, and I think traveling is amazing. I had a trip planned for the summer to go to Spain. I don't know if I'm going to be able to go anymore with the current health situation in the world, but I'd like to travel. That's an amazing thing I want to do in the future. So write about it or talk about it. What is the most amazing thing you hope to do in the future? Okay, so that's our amazing question for the day. Our mindful strategy or mindful moment is a good thing to reflect on, especially when we're feeling frustrated with someone or we're feeling upset and we think that we might say something that's not necessarily kind. So this is called Is It Helpful? This is a picture of the birds on the back. Looks like they're talking about the egg. All right, so when we're not sure if something we're about to say is thoughtful and kind, we ask ourselves three questions. Is it helpful to me? Is it helpful to other people? Is it helpful to the planet? So sometimes we get into complicated situations and we sometimes might say things or think to say things that aren't necessarily the kindest or the best things that we should say. So this strategy reminds us to stop and think about what we're going to say before we say it. So the three questions that you ask yourself before you might say something hurtful or unkind is it helpful to me? Is it helpful to others? And is it helpful to the planet? So think about it. Think about that in your head and repeat what you were going to say in your head and then ask yourself those three questions. If you answer no to any of those questions, either don't say what you were about to say or flip it around so that it is helpful. We've talked a lot about having an attitude of gratitude and using a growth mindset the way we speak, so not saying, I have to do math today, I hate math. You say, I get to do math today and I can get better at math. So this is the same kind of thing. You ask yourself those three questions, and if you answer no or if you're not sure, you try to reframe what you were going to say or not say it at all, okay? Is it helpful to me? Is it helpful to others? Is it helpful to the planet? Those are the three questions you ask yourself. That's our mindful strategy of the day. I have a challenge for you. This is a math research challenge. Your challenge is to research the length of a few of the longest rivers in the United States. So this is where you'll have to use your research skills. You can use the databases through the school or you can use Google. Make sure you use it safely and with a parent. So you can Google two of the longest rivers in the United States, and it's probably going to tell you in miles. So then I want you to convert the length into feet. You should remember how many feet are in a mile, but if you don't, you can look that up as well. Okay? So you're going to research two of the longest rivers in the United States and then convert the length in miles to how many feet that is. And then you can compare which of the rivers is the longest and by how many feet. Okay, that's your math research challenge. I need to look over here at my second screen to make sure that I'm on track for what I'm supposed to be saying. My kids, if you look on Google Classroom, I put some new things up for you to work on throughout the week. Something that is important to do at the beginning of the week is to set an intention for the week. So it could be a goal or it could just be something that you want to focus on for the week. So my intention for this week is to maybe spend more time reading and less time on screens. or my intention for the week is to be more careful with the words that I say to people and think more before I speak. It could be anything like that. So you could think about an intention to set at the beginning of the week, and then throughout the week, check in with yourself and see if you're keeping up on that intention. Because goal setting and intention setting is great, but if we don't keep up with ourselves and we don't check in to see if we're still reaching towards those goals or holding ourselves accountable, sometimes we can quote unquote fall off the wagon or lose sight of what we wanted to accomplish. Next, there's a really great website to practice math called Khan Academy, Khan Academy. It's linked on our DeWitt Road updates page. They have videos and examples of how to do all sorts of math concepts. So if you're working through something and you really don't remember how to do it, that's a great resource to go to. And last, something that you could do, letter writing. I was watching the news this morning. I was watching the Today Show. That's a plug for the Today Show. And they were talking about how the number of phone calls that people are making has increased a lot, and the number of letters that people are writing. So we've done a lot of letter writing in our classroom where we've talked about the 5 parts of the letter, where we have the greeting, dear whoever, dearest whoever, comma, and then you have the date, and then you have your body of the letter, which is just what you're saying. Then you have your closing, which is sincerely or love or from, and then you write your signature or your name, okay? And the way that you would send it through the United States Postal Service is like this. So here's a letter. I'm hoping this isn't backwards. You have to take a stamp. Usually it's a forever stamp because that means that you can use it forever because you've paid for it, and that'll be good no matter if the value of a stamp changes. So it goes in the top right-hand corner. You stick it right on the envelope in the top right-hand corner. In the middle of the envelope, you put the recipient's address. The recipient is the person who's going to receive the letter. So if I was mailing it to myself at school, I would write Miss Creditaro, 722 DeWitt Road, Webster, New York, 14580. Remember, we write it on 3 lines. So name, street address, city, state, zip code. Name, street address, city, state, zip code. It's 3 lines. And then what's really important to do is you put the return address or your address in the top left-hand corner. So stamp in the top right, your address in the top left. We do this for a few reasons. One reason is so that your recipient who's receiving it knows who it's coming from and they have an address to use if they want to write back to you. And also, if there's some sort of problem at the post office, say this address no longer exists or you addressed it incorrectly or for some reason they can't find it, they know who to bring the letter back to. If you don't put this up here and you send it to someone and maybe you write the address wrong, and you don't have a return address, then they can't get it back to you so that you can fix the address so that it can get to the person. So your address or your return address is really important. And again, the way that you write that is you write your name, your address, or your street name and number. And then on the 3rd line, you would put the city or the town, or the city, the town, the city, and then the zip code. So like Webster, New York, 14580 on the bottom. So it's 3 lines. So that's something that you could do right now. If you have stamps and envelopes in your house, you could write letters to people. They could be people at your church, at your synagogue, at your mosque, family members that you're not seeing. It could be friends that you're not seeing in class. And because we've talked a lot about this, but things mean more when people take the time to do them. And handwriting a letter is very meaningful because you took the time to put the effort into it to do it. And it's personalized because it's the person's real handwriting. It's not just, Arial font on Google Docs. It's really their handwriting and they took the time to do it. So consider writing a letter to someone. And we'll finish with our story cube. I'm going to roll 2. All right. We have a sleeping face. So you could start your 1-sentence story tell with, there once was a man who was sleeping, ... Or All right, what did I hand? Oh, it was the masks. Or we have the masks over here. Oftentimes an image like this represents drama or theater. So it could be about a play, it could start with a play, your characters could be in a play. So go around in a circle. You can choose one or both of these images. Go around in a circle and do a one-sentence story tell where you each continue on the story until it's all done, or write about one of these two topics. Okay? And have a great day. Make sure you have a wonderful week. Try to get outside as much as you can, and make sure that you're being your best self in every way that you can be. Until next time, it's Miss G. See you soon.